Hello, friends. It's good to see you this week. I'm Scott Reall, the author of Journey of Transformation and Journey to Freedom, with this week's Moment of Hope, the power of the paradigm. It was a few years ago, well, it was more than a few years, it was probably 8 years ago. I was walking on the beach in Fort Lauderdale, and I had grabbed some books to read when I was walking down the beach. And I had grabbed 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, Dr. Covey. And I hadn't read it in years, and it just immediately, it led me to this concept he said, and I'll read to you what he said. He's talking about quantum improvements, really making sustainable changes and transformation in our lives. And he said that we can only achieve quantum improvements in our lives as we quit hacking at the leaves of attitude and behavior and get to work on the root causes. And that is the paradigms from which our attitudes and all of our behaviors flow. And it just really hit me. We're always going to be dealing with the superficial, the external, just the symptoms, versus the core issues, what's driving the behaviors, until we strike at the core, which is our paradigms. And what Covey goes on to talk about is, he says, is a paradigm is a powerful belief. And so for me, it's kind of like if you go down in the deepest region of my being, there, with my most fundamental foundational beliefs would be my paradigms. And what he says is it creates a lens in which everything we see comes from that lens. And so, again, we go back to, we don't believe what we see what we believe. And that's that famous saying, he says, we don't see things as they are, we see things as we are. And it really made sense to me that if we're going to really experience deep-rooted change and transformation in our lives, we got to strike at the cause, the root cause, and that is our paradigms, what we really believe. From that belief, he says, all of our responses are going to be determined. So this week, as we begin to focus again on working the STAR process every day, think about when you start to embrace these thoughts and beliefs about yourself and your life that got to change, that they're not true, but it's what you've come to believe. You gotta be ready to redirect. You gotta stop, change trajectory, climb to higher altitude, and redirect with a different message to yourself. And like I would say, I'm just not a good man. A good man wouldn't be able to do this. I have to stop as soon as I start to think that and say, no, that's not true. You are a good man, and you're growing. You're getting better every day that you focus on this process. And so this week I want you to really take into account all those thoughts about what you are saying about yourself that are coming from a belief. Because what you believe about yourself and what you believe about God and what you believe about life and just in general, it's all forming that foundational paradigm. If we're going to really have sustainable change and transformation in our life, that's where we got to go. That's where we got to work. So be ready when those old thoughts come, those old beliefs, redirect, and be ready to redirect with some positive beliefs and statements about who you really are. And that's where I will use the Bible. And the Bible is a great resource of the promises of God and what he says about me. And that is what I'll speak that into being. So it's kind of like we're going to manifest what we believe. As a man in his heart says and believes, that he is. So focus on that this week. And remember, we're better together. Stay on the path.